Welcome to 99th Monkey Liberty News for Wednesday, February 26th, 2014. My Flash player has crashed, which is both good and bad. Bad because you won't get to see all the cool little pictures and moving ads. Actually, that's good, isn't it? And good because hopefully my browser will be more responsive and I will have fewer issues this morning. The first article is Investment Watch. Your corrupt government. 78 members of Congress have family members as lobbyists. 100 connected family members splitting $2 billion in lobbying contracts. And I put this first because yesterday I mentioned that there is a 22,000% return on investment for corporations who spend money on lobbyists. So this is just a big, messy jumble. You know, they're being lobbied by their own family members. I'm astonished that people aren't screaming about this conflict of interest. And this is not, it's something that even only conspiracy theorists like us would be concerned about, right? This is an obvious conflict of interest. From Infowars.com, Greenpeace co-founder, no scientific evidence of man-made global warming. And this man, Patrick Moore, made a speech yesterday, Tuesday, and stated this. And Greenpeace has been a voice, certainly for a long time, of, you know, let's save the earth. And Moore argued that the current argument that the burning of fossil fuels is driving global warming over the past century lacks scientific evidence. He added that the earth is in an unusually cold period and some warming would be a good thing. And the article goes on in more detail what he actually said. So, no, you're not crazy. Global warming is not scientifically founded as a theory. From RT, Supreme Court hands police more power to conduct warrantless house searches. And I couldn't find a link for this just in a cursory search, but on the Alex Jones show yesterday, a caller mentioned that he lives in Oklahoma, and that in Oklahoma, the police are visiting people's homes for unpaid parking tickets, and that they will do a SWAT sort of approach at times, and that's for unpaid parking tickets. Law enforcement in this country has lost all sense of perspective. And this is a time to speak out about it. I mean, it would have been great if we all would have spoken out about it 5, 10, 15 years ago when this started to amp up. But now it's a point where it's for people who are watching to deny. And I don't believe it's too late for us to speak up and go to city council meetings, do whatever it takes, and require that police are public servants, not bill collectors for the banking cabal. This, I included the video from Alex Jones' show yesterday, and this is, if my Flash player hadn't crashed, you would see that this is the entire show. But I am sharing it with the set at the mark about, I think it's about the last, I don't know, 30 minutes. There's a point where a caller called to thank Alex for getting involved, for letting people know, raising the alarm about the Ohio bill that proposed examining homeschoolers and putting real strong constraints on homeschoolers. And this was just so sweet. At the point that I am marking it, the caller had his children come online and thank Alex Jones. And I'm just encouraging all of us that, yeah, what we do really does make a difference. And we can remember who we are really doing what we do for. That is the future. I'm in my mid-50s. I'm not going to probably be, I mean, who knows, right? But I could kick off before things get really, really bad. And it's not myself that I'm doing what I do for, although I certainly don't want to live under tyranny myself, but it's really the future. It's the children. It's the generations to come. And if we have enough love for them, we will take up these banners and begin to go out into the world, however we do it, whether we do it online or in person, and ask people if they also are concerned about future generations, and will they not get involved as well. Make the world a place for future generations. And this is another InfoWars video. Feral government attacks family farm. And this is from the Nightly News. I found it kind of amusing. I was actually looking for something else. But this is about a pig farmer who had feds come on his land and destroy his pigs because they didn't meet the federal standards for pigs. There are actually 9 indicators that the feds look for. Virtually all pigs exhibit these 9, at least one of these 9 characteristics by which they determine whether a pig is feral or not. And so it's not what you know or what condition your pigs are in or how healthy their DNA is. It's who you know. The feds, if they don't like what you're doing, you have an organic farm, something of that nature, they can just come and kill your livestock because it doesn't have a curly tail or it doesn't have a straight tail. That's actually one thing the farmer talks about. One characteristic is that feral pigs have a straight tail, feral pigs have a curly tail. Well, if a pig has a tail, it's either straight or curly. So make up your minds, right? But this is what's really going on, as we all know. From Sherry Questioning All, federal government FDA mission to close all organic farms. Monsanto is in control. Organic farms calling it quits. What we can do. And Sherry has some suggestions. From Before It's News, I have an article, again, kind of referencing something that I mentioned yesterday, that there are paid trolls, shills, who intentionally visit websites with the intent to confuse and divide and weaken. So, from Before It's News, why trolls start flame wars. Swearing and name-calling on the web shuts down the ability to think and focus. And I know that feeling they're talking about. I recognize that feeling that my brain, you know, it's some kind of an overload. It's like, well, I'm being threatened, I'm being attacked, I need to react. It throws us into a bizarre, you know, we want to go into fight or flight, but there's nobody to fight and nowhere to run. So I'm including this just so we can have more understanding of why it's effective, why these people do what they do, and hopefully we can find ways to ignore these and properly process so that we're not overwhelmed. This is a very interesting YouTube video. Programmer under oath admits computers rig elections. And this was published a while ago, but somebody tweeted it and it caught my eye, and this is real. And I'm going to just mention the TV program Scandal. There are 2 shows, House of Cards and Scandal, and I've mentioned them both before. I really believe that they are, to some extent, intentionally exposing the evil in our country. And House of Cards is more accurate about exposing some aspects of what's going on. Scandal's more accurate about exposing other aspects. There is a scandal episode that has to do with how easy it is to rig voting machines, and it is based on reality. That episode is based on reality, and it is not a difficult challenge for people who understand how computers work to rig voting machines. So, and this is more in-depth information on that, and something that it's important, again, there are a lot of articles that I include simply because I believe that it's crucial for us all to be well-versed in many aspects of the tyranny, so that whatever somebody's passion or concern or interest is, we can speak to that. This is help for you speaking to people about rigged elections. From Washington's blog, Reddit censors big story about government manipulation and disruption of the internet. And I have a companion article from Zero Hedge, similar topic. Here is the FT's gold price manipulation article that was removed. There are articles that are making it out into the mainstream and being pulled back, being stifled. And I suppose when that happens, it's an indication that the article really is very close to crucial truth. But then on the other hand, the cabal knows that and could manipulate us by taking some disinfo down so that it sets the hook, so that we believe the disinfo. But actually, both of these articles seem to be very bona fide, and it's noteworthy that people in charge are still trying to hide information that can help to bring about release from oppression and tyranny for humankind. Here is some oppression and tyranny being imposed on humankind from Oath Keepers. Court rules off-the-grid living is illegal. And a lady who went off the grid, disconnected from the electrical grid, disconnected from water, is being evicted from her house. I can't say I'm surprised by this, because even, a long time ago I would be in neighborhoods where a house was condemned because they weren't connected to the water and sewer, whatever. But certainly I'm not in agreement with this, because obviously she's living well. This house is not going to be condemned. She has her needs met. So I think, the answer is, if you're going to try to live off the grid, move far away. I'm glad that she's fighting this fight, and I hope that other people take this battle up and disconnect from the grid, even living within city limits. But this is, if I were going to try this, I think I would get in a place where it might be less obvious. But kudos to her, and I hope she stays in her home. Hope she wins this battle. This is just an interesting article, and I have a couple of articles about Monsanto here, Monsanto-related issues. I think I have 3, actually. This is John Rappaport's blog, Top Shareholders in Whole Foods and Monsanto Identical. Just to be aware, if you are a devoted Whole Foods shopper, think again. Evaluate, see if there's maybe some other place that you can shop. From the activist post, Air Force reservists exposed to Agent Orange in post-Vietnam planes study. And of course, Agent Orange was produced by Monsanto, and this is an issue that is just an ongoing nightmare for people. They're men who were exposed, their children can have genetic issues, certain kinds of weaknesses. And Alex Jones had mentioned this concerning his uncle who was exposed to Agent Orange, and his nephew who had some congenital defects. Down with Monsanto, right? From Investment Watch, government study, 75% of air and rain samples tested positive for Monsanto's Roundup. That's a lot. There's a lot of Roundup out there. And if you use Roundup, I hope you'll stop. You know, does it mean that much to you to get rid of crabgrass? Of course there are alternatives, and one of which is just pulling it up by hand and staying on top of it that way. It's good exercise. From Natural News, this is our good news. Dietary supplement users are more likely to receive necessary nutrients and make better health decisions. Well, of course, if you're aware of what's going on, you tend to make better health decisions. And in making better health decisions, you tend to at least consider dietary supplements. So this is something that is well within all of our reach to begin to do, if we're not already doing it, is learn about supplements, find some that are suited for our situations. There are a lot of tremendous books out there, and certainly Natural News is even a great research. You can do a search right here for any issues that you have and probably find some supplements and or herbs that will help with the situation that you are facing health-wise. With that, thank you for tuning in for today's 99th Monkey Liberty News. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Hoping that you will love one another, take care, and insist on liberty.